right. You hear the music, you know what it is. It is a Sunday, no holiday other than National Football League. But we are here. It is October 6, 2024, in the year of our Lord. I am OThaGreat. This is High Off the Glass. We are starting earlier today because we have a special episode. This is your November 5th ballot. I wanted to go over it. Here's the thing with this country, y'all. Okay, I love sports. I'm a sports fiend. Y'all know this. But there's too much emphasis in this country put on sports and not put on politics. Because politics make policy in this country. And believe it or not, folks, and those of you that want to bury your head in the sand, you can do that if you want to. But your money is affected by who is in power. It literally is. It's just like that. So you need to be aware. You need to know what's going on. I have an esteemed panel today. I am so excited to have these folks here. What is it? I'm going to start on my left. Well, my far left. What is it? I have Mr. Emmett McKenna. This dude is a political pundit. I've known this brother for 20-some years. This is my guy. Emmett, I am happy that you made it here, man. Pulling that mic to you.
Thank you for having me.
There you go. Pull the mic closer. There you go. Pull it. Yeah, you
Thank you for having me, yo.
Oh, you're more than welcome. What is it? This young lady, y'all know who this is. We literally had her on the show before the August election. This woman has been doing good work for the St. Louis area and the state of Missouri for years. Former Missouri State Senator. Everybody welcome Maria Chappelle Nadal. Yo.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to be back.
I'm so happy to have you. This is she is my favorite politician outside of Shirley Chisholm. So I am super excited to have this young woman here. And last but far from least, this brother right here is, I love this man because he can hit you from different angles. He give you the street side of it. He can give you the knowledge side of it. He's a businessman. He's a musician. The brother is talented and he thinks different than a lot of folks out here. So that's why I wanted to have him on. Give it up for Montega Rebel, y'all. Give it up for Appreciate you are more than welcome. I appreciate you for making the time. I appreciate all y'all for making the time. Miss Maria, do not feel bad because I had more females, but they bailed. So
I'm accustomed to being the only one.
You are. You really are. All right. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to save the juicy stuff for last because y'all know the main thing. What is it? The presidential U.S. senator. Y'all know that. The governor one to me is kind of funny because the only person that we're seeing, and he's barely doing ads, is Mike Kehoe. He's a Republican. I don't subscribe to him. I don't believe in any of his policies or what he stands for. But Crystal Quade is the Democrat, and this for labor, which I love. You know, I'm in a union. She's for working class families. She's for the middle class, but you never see her. So I don't know. Does anyone know anything about Crystal Quade?
Well, I know both of them. So
Okay.
I served with Mike Kehoe when he was in the Senate. We served in the Senate together. And he always likes to talk about the fact he's from North County.
Okay.
Or North City, rather. And you know what was really interesting when you looked at the primary, he did something that I haven't seen since Matt Blunt.
Okay.
And Matt Blunt literally got into the urban core and decided to run amongst
What you want? You want the holder?
a huge group of people who are Democrats. And Matt Blunt did the same thing in his primary and in his general years ago, and he won.
Okay.
So I saw signs everywhere for Kehoe. Obviously, I'm not a Republican.
Right.
And I also worked with Crystal Quade. So, you know, Crystal, she was the minority leader, is the minority leader. You know, she has always been about business, and I've appreciated that about her. She always had floor debate planned out, which I appreciated. When I went back to the House of Representatives after serving in the Senate, She helped me fight to have my dogs in the Capitol, and
Go
I
ahead,
always
Crystal.
did.
Okay.
I always had my dogs, but there were some bad actors in the House of Representatives who didn't take care of their
I
dogs,
believe it.
and I mean there was an entire article and everything. I had to fight for my dogs. Anyway,
Wow.
so Crystal is about business.
Okay.
Both of them are quite strategic.
Right.
I would say Kehoe knows how to manipulate the game, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that from experience
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how he handled some of the urban core legislators, and he was able to move them in his direction.
Okay.
And I'm saying that the nicest way I can.
Right. You can be blunt. You know how we
Yeah,
do on here.
yeah, but he is. He's in the party. He's just a Republican, and he goes about business the way the majority flows.
Right. He's no different. He's
You
just
know,
basically the same thing.
Crystal understands that there's a big umbrella.
Right. Okay. Montego, what are your thoughts on the governor ship or what is it, candidates?
I'm not too familiar with the female, but I am familiar with Kehoe.
Okay.
Um, I don't I don't agree with him walking, riding, and sliding.
There you go.
I don't,
I
you know,
like that.
and I before I make my decisions and give my opinions on things, I like to kind of like do my homework and research a little bit on the individual before I
Right.
delve off into
Right.
you know. But yeah, just off of the research I've done and things that I've seen and read and a lot of times I don't like to just go off what I see online
Right.
because that can be fabricated so much
Exactly.
too. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah. It's
But
propaganda.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there could definitely be, there should be somebody else other than him.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely believe that.
That's what's up. And I 100% concur with what you're saying. And one thing that you said, Montega, that I love, research. There's nothing wrong with doing your own research, people. That's what you're supposed to damn do. And don't feel afraid or, oh, I don't know anything and I shouldn't vote because I don't know. Just do a Google search. Go to Ballot. I think it's Ballotpedia.
Ballotpedia.
Go to Ballotpedia. They can give you the for real breakdown. You won't get propaganda there, and that's where you can start. It's not that hard, y'all. It is not hard to do research. Emmett, what's your thoughts on the governor?
So, the Republican governors, like the primary for it was crazy because
Right.
they had, Keogh is awful, but they had some other people who were even worse than him. Like there was one guy whose name I don't remember, but his whole campaign was just like mass deportations and
Wow. Yeah.
and
Basically
Missouri's
dump
not even,
rhetoric, yeah.
Missouri's not even like a border state, so
Right. I'm just gonna say it because
Yeah.
they'll like it. Yeah.
so it's just the Missouri Republicans are really out there.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
So, and I'm not a fan of Keogh. I'm going to vote for Crystal Quaid.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's interesting. We don't see, like you said, we don't see much commercials for her.
Right.
I don't know if it's Missouri Democrat Party or what, but I don't feel like they are putting enough in to campaign for her.
Exactly.
Because, we shouldn't just treat it like Missouri's always going to be a red state. We should,
Right. Right. Right.
I feel like they need to compete and try to win back power.
They really should. And the woman had a rally in St. Charles, and that's the only thing I've seen that she's done on this side of the state. Now I don't know what she's done on the KC side, or what she's done down south. She hasn't hit the city yet. She hasn't hit West County, South County, North
I have
County.
not seen nor heard of this woman.
I know, right? That's the bad part. In the
She has an interesting story though,
She does?
and like she's the first one to graduate from high school. Like that's one of she really put a lot of investment into her primary, and she comes from Springfield, which Springfield is actually more diverse than what we think. And she had a story to tell. And so when I'm out and about around town, I do see a lot of her signs. I will say the one time I called her after being in the legislature, I didn't get a phone call back. That concerned me. But she's a good, solid Democrat.
Right.
You know,
right.
she
That's
was
what I've
on-
been hearing.
She
Yeah.
was on MSNBC the other day, and I was listening to her talk about the reason we need to pass Amendment 3 Again, she's someone who is solid. I did not know that she came from such a humble background. I didn't know that.
Right.
And for her to come from where she came to where she is now, I think is extraordinary.
There you go.
And I mean, I had to learn that because I didn't know that when I served with her. But I think that's a story that all of us can hold on to because there's so many of us who have come from absolutely nothing to something. Mike Kehoe, he owned a car dealership for years, helped out friends when their cars were in trouble.
Of course, came from money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that privilege. He wants to connect with the black community. He tried to do that with someone by the name of Darren Seals, not the Darren Seals that.
Oh,
is
not
in
the
my
real
book.
Darren Seals, our guy. Rest in peace.
It's a different one.
Huh. Okay.
Different, and he was in his primary commercials.
Wow.
So, I'm gonna be voting for Crystal.
Right.
I think she is going to put everyone in place. If she wins, she's going to put everyone in place who has the ability to think, the ability to comprehend, the ability to understand, metabolize, articulate, like each specific issue that you have to deal with. And we have billions of dollars in our state budget.
Right.
And I know she's going to take care of rural.
Okay.
I know that I hope that she's going to pay more attention to the urban core and housing.
Right.
I mean, we all know that housing is a big deal in North St. Louis City, North St. Louis County, and other places. I mean, we have generations of people who are living on top of each other right now.
Right. That part. I get what you're saying, and I 100% am with it. I think I'm probably going to be. I'm 90% voting for her. I don't see any other candidate that's more worthy of my vote. But like to Montega's point, people don't know her. And that is someone who needs to be in office, but she is not hitting the streets. She doesn't even use socials, and that's free. Like, I mean, use the tools that you have in front of you. That if you don't have a lot of money, that's respectable and commendable in and of itself. But use the free tools that you have to get your word out. That's all I'm saying with that.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. That's the only thing I think with that. Also, too, for those of you that like to call in, if you have any questions, feel free to call in 515-599-1687, 515-599-1687. Again, 515-599-1687. That is the My City, My Music hotline. Okay. Now let's go to this. I want to talk about this one before we get into the props and the amenities. I'm in the city. Well, this is city and county, but this guy right here for U.S. Rep District 1, Miss. This is gonna be hot right here, bro. What is it? Miss Chappelle Nadal knows a lot about the Democratic candidate out of here. I did my research trying to look up Andrew Jones. And Andrew Jones is the surprisingly black Republican candidate that they literally pulled out of nowhere. This man has no voting.
He ran for city mayor a few years ago. So
he did in 2021.
Yeah. He's been around. He keeps running for stuff. He doesn't win ever.
He does. And then when he from literally, bro. So when he and that's the thing. He comes from money. He comes from the corporation side. When he ran, before he ran, he was working for Southwestern Bell as a mayoral campaign. He worked at Southwest Electric for VP of Business and Development and Marketing. So I mean, this cat is as corporate as you get. Does anyone know anything about Andrew Jones?
Just hearing that, I don't like him. No, for real.
Say.
Just hearing that, I don't even know him. But it's just like those when you run off like those type of credentials or whatever, right? Then you see like they're going for office.
Yeah.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
It's just something about you that seems off to me.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It does.
And I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But you up to something.
Yo, thanks.
Nah, you up to something.
I mean, it seems like that, especially with that party. I mean, it just seems like every time, other than the Lincoln Project And Michael, what's the guy that runs the Lincoln Project? Brother used to be the RNC chair. Now he runs Lincoln Project.
Michael Steele.
Michael Steele.
Oh, yeah.
Other than Michael Steele, Lincoln Project, it's the same old story from the Republicans. It's nothing different. They don't change the playbook at all. It's just money, racism, and get rid of the illegals. Like that's it, bro. Like
Yep.
I don't see anything different. Any thoughts on Mr. Andrew Jones? Anybody?
So I
he's
don't know
black.
much about
Yeah,
him.
he is. Believe it or not.
I don't know much about him
Surprised
except
me.
for the fact, I know he's a black Republican who runs in every election,
Okay.
basically, and he's just a perennial candidate.
Yeah.
And Republicans aren't going to win in St. Louis City and District 1. So it's just him just getting his name out there and everything. But I mean, he's not gonna win, and I don't really know much about him. I just don't know why he keeps running.
I get it. What say you, Miss Maria?
I don't know him.
Right, legitimately.
If you go down to Rochelle Riggins, I've seen her sign around town.
Right.
And I want to say that there's one right at the corner of Page and Union.
Okay. Libertarian
Black
candidate, everybody.
woman. I don't know anything about her. When it comes to Blake Ashby, I've known him for years.
Oh, really?
He lived in University City for a long time. I mean, as a Republican. He moved out. I mean, he ran for president as a Republican. He is someone who has means and always has lived on probably a trust fund. He moved out to Ferguson and was appointed as a council person, and he just lost against what's my friend's name? I forgot.
Ferguson?
Another libertarian.
Okay.
But Nick Kassoff, who
Okay.
lost against Nick Kassoff.
Okay.
Ironically, though, during the primary, he was putting up anti-Corey signs on the highways. He paid for those.
Blake did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Okay.
like the anti-police or the defund the police. He had the no defund police
I saw
anti-Corey
those.
signs.
That's him.
He paid for that. So, like, he comes from money.
Right. Right.
And he has, he runs more parentally than most of these folks. Don Fitz, he's a great green guy. He cares about bike riding, and he's been really
that's me.
involved in the flooding in University City
Okay.
and in other places in town. So, like, he cares.
Right.
He's, like, for the good of the people. Having a Green Party candidate win is probably not likely. And then we're down to the sex pedophile, the sex predator.
Drop it.
And
listen, she
Wesley
yeah.
Bell,
My take a face is amazing.
P. Diddy Light. P. Diddy Light.
It's for real. Wesley Bell.
Wesley Bell.
He is fucked up, bro.
He has a sex discrimination case coming out in January. He slept with both male and female staffers in his office.
Ew.
And I'm not gonna, whatever people, you just don't sleep with your staff.
Yeah, you gotta be
period.
professional. Like,
Period.
what the fudge?
Like, whatever outside of that, you just don't. That was a no-no.
Be
That's
freaky
a
at
no-no.
home. Like, what?
I mean, I've heard him lock up people who have not obeyed it. That's why I call him Diddy Light.
Right.
Because he has so much in common. Parties. I mean, I'm serious. I'll be in court with the popcorn.
Yeah.
In January. I could talk about Wesley for days.
We'll go talk about January. What's happening with him in January?
So January, the person's name is Susie Peterson with an E.
Okay.
And Susie Peterson, also other women, were working in the prosecuting attorney's office when there was a transition of power from Bob McCullough to Wesley Drop the Ball Bell.
You got that right.
And so there were a
For
lot
real.
of people who
Yeah, he was
actually
effed up.
stayed on. but he always had an issue with the women. So he's had several cases that he settled for sex discrimination. Like Susie Peterson is not the first case that has. It is the first case that's going to be before a jury.
Wow.
It is not the first sex discrimination case.
Right.
And basically, he has this whole thing about you do as I say. You know, I mean, I've heard him have weird relationships with the interns. I mean, when I say did he like?
Yeah.
Yo, I can believe that because, and I'm not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But my lady, right?
Uh-huh.
Her cousin she's a teacher for the Florissant School District.
Okay.
So they had some get together and Wesley Bell was there.
Oh, snap.
So she's texting my lady like, this dude keeps touching me. So I'm like, who keeps touching her?
Yeah.
And she asked, she's like, she's there with Wesley Bell. I swear, this was like last month.
Your lady said this to you.
Yeah,
Bell kept trying to touch her.
touch her cousin.
Oh.
Because they were at a function.
Yeah.
So, you know, while they're at the function, you know, it's a bunch of church people there, et cetera,
It's
et
a
cetera.
church function?
Something to that effect.
What?
But he kept touching her. And, like, we should get together sometime and, collaborate on da-da-da.
Wow.
She was like, it made her uncomfortable.
Right.
To the point where she had to tell him, like, stop touching me.
Wow.
Like, yeah, man.
So I'm so glad that you said that.
Shit,
Yeah.
100% I
I'm
believe
so
it.
glad that you
100%
said that.
believe it.
And
Yeah.
that's why
Jesus.
it needs to be underscored that he is a Sean Diddy Combs light, okay? Because I'm talking about children. I'm talking about things in cars with windows you can't see through.
But
Right.
you never
Right.
trust a motherfucker that shaved his facial hair like that. Never trust him.
That's a whole guy dude thing. I don't know about that. But yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
you never trust. Listen, bro.
What in the what? I love this.
Listen,
That
man.
is dope.
You do not. Even some political black people have some type of 5 o'clock shadow, beard, something. Dude is butt ass faced like every time you see him.
You ain't lying like
Freshly
if you look-
greased.
he
and
ain't
everything.
lying. He
you look
ain't
back when
lying.
he was a Republican. He worked, he worked for the Republicans back in a Republican candidate for this office in 2005, 2006.
2020. I mean, 2020. 2000.
No, it's 2005, I think.
Was it 2000?
Yeah.
4 or
It
5
was
4
early.
Or 6, yeah. Maybe
for who?
6.
For Bell?
No,
What's
yeah,
his
Bell.
name?
Bell was the campaign manager for Republican back then. But then he was
That sounds about right.
Yeah, he attended a George W. Bush function, too.
Of course he did. Yeah, of course he did.
Was it Talent? I thought it was a Gym Talent.
Yeah, that's the function he attended.
I mean, and he was bare back then.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you saw
he
his
was even
face.
worse.
Right.
He was shaving his head back then. He was like,
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, the ball.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
here's the bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
He fooled all of these communities.
Mm-hmm.
And when they redistricted the first congressional district, you know, he was lucky. He got lucky several times. He
Yeah.
got lucky that the sex discrimination. Now there's a dog in here. I
All
love
right.
the little dog.
Oh,
Me
look at
too.
that little
Hi,
dog.
baby.
All right, that's
I
what's
gotta
up.
talk
What
about
up, money?
Wes-
Hey, I ain't seen you in a
I
while,
gotta
bro.
talk
Good
about
to see you,
another
famo.
dog called Wesley Bell, though. Hi, little baby.
I wouldn't dare call no
Anyway.
dog Wesley Bell.
I know, I love you. Exactly. But I mean, you have to go backwards and just look. He doesn't even know policy.
He doesn't.
Can't think on his feet. He fooled all of these good communities. I mean, he fooled them down to Kirkwood, Webster Groves.
Well, that's 'cause he was
fooled all
funded.
these people.
With RPAC, what was it?
AIPAC.
AIPAC. I mean,
Yeah,
he was funded. He was funded to fool
We are
them.
about to have a sex predator as our congressperson.
God no, please no. Okay.
Someone who touches folks. I mean, I don't even have to tell you that,
Right.
but I
we
know
just,
it.
We just got a story right now, a real life story. Here's the thing, right? I want to go back a tick, right? Because I'm not voting for dude. Regardless,
No, I'm not.
I don't give a shit. I can't vote for him.
I'm not.
I'm low key thinking about Andrew, but the problem I have with Rochelle with the Libertarian, Blake Ashby with the Better Party, which is some new thing that Josh, what's his guy name?
never heard
Jared
before
Young.
today.
Jared Young started
Yeah.
the Better Party.
Today was the first time I heard of it.
Yeah, and it was supposedly, yeah, exactly. And it was some party that he started just so you can automatically, no matter how much funding you have, you can still get on a ballot. To me, I think it's just for his own personal political gain. But the thing, and the Green Party as well, they don't do the work that is needed throughout, outside of an election cycle. They don't do any fucking work. I don't understand this. They only pop up 3.5 years and expect me to vote for them. I don't know you. I've never seen you. I don't know what your policies are. Like, I looked up Miss Riggins. She went to Beaumont. What is it? She has a degree. Andrew Jones, he went to Lincoln, which I was shocked about. He has a BS. I mean, but other than that, like, do the work that's, because I want to vote green. Like, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Y'all may be too young for this, but there was this cat back in the 80s when I was a kid, and he was going up against Reagan, and this man made all the sense in the world and was the man. And also, too, he had a TV show on PBS, and he would break down why we were overpaying for different things. The man's name was Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader was the shit. Okay, can I tell you that man was the shit? And he was for us, but he was with the Green Party, and he could never get the votes. The man had his own show, y'all, and could not get the votes because it was on some NPR type shit. You know, if you know about NPR, you listen to NPR. Those people that are on that news outlet make a lot of sense, but they are not. The masses don't know about them, and that's the sad part. What were you gonna say, E?
So Ralph Nader, I actually, when I was 17, before I could even vote, when he ran
God.
in 2000, I volunteered for his campaign.
Damn right you
I
did.
was like,
Go ahead,
hell yeah.
boy.
And
Shit.
I mean, yeah, it's cool, but the other side, like, partially because of him, we ended up with George W. Bush instead of Al Gore, and Al Gore would have been a hell of a lot better.
Right.
So, like,
right.
you know, that's the problem with the Green Party. Like, I support them, but at the same time, like, they're just not going to win in this two-party system. And we're stuck with, one of the two. And
I don't like having a two-party system, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I want y'all opinion on this. I want something else, but my wife says it. She said it last night, and she's 100% correct, even though I don't like it, but she's right. A green, independent, and this sorry-ass, this weird, out-of-nowhere better party, all you're doing is taking votes away from the two major candidates, and really the one that we need to win, which would be in with the senator, I say Kuntz, and with the president, of course, Harris Waltz. You're taking votes away from them. That's all you're doing. So what, Miss Maria, you being I want to say damn near lifelong Democrat.
Lifelong.
There you go. What do you think about having another party or just the two-party system? Are you okay with that?
You know what? I look at global politics, the places I've been. You know, you look at, like, Israel, they're a multi-party. You look at Australia, they're multi-party. And you really have to work hard to get a majority. But sometimes that doesn't work. So you have a problem in two-party systems, but you also have problems in multi-party systems. You know, and I think that it is a valid argument to have. Just because we're on this week, I want to say the first person I voted for when I was 5 years old was Jimmy Carter, who turned
that's right.
100 years
Right
old.
on, Jimmy. I'm glad you're still with us. Shout out to Mr. Carter, President Carter.
And you know, it's kind of hard. But, you know, I don't want to take anyone's voice away. And,
True.
You know,
Very true.
If the two-party system is a problem for some, you know, talk about it. I mean, we have right here Emmett, who is a Democratic socialist, and there are things that we both align with pretty firmly. But he and I, which is what is great about democracy, can have our individual spaces, our individual lanes that we like to deviate on from time to time.
Right. I think, and I totally agree with that. Montego, what are your thoughts on that?
I got a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is the Green Party and the Democratic Party basically, do they pretty much agree on, like?
No, they do not.
So what is the stance of the Green Party?
I think there's similarities.
there's similarities.
There's similarities, but they
Because
also
from what I'm
disagree on a
hearing,
lot of stuff.
there's some similarities.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
So why can't the Green Party help push the Democratic?
Because I think the Green Party. I'm not going to say anything negative, but I think the Green Party. There are.
I'm saying because if it hasn't been working.
Yeah.
For the Green Party,
right?
Nobody gets. You know what I'm saying? If you have some of the same similar.
There are lines that those parties have that the Green Party has drawn. We will not do this because we will not join the Democratic Party because they believe in this. And there are specific things, and now those specific things I do not know, but those are the reasons why they refuse to just jump on.
Yeah,
fracking
is a great
That's
example.
One? Okay.
You know, like there's no way in heck that a Green Party member is going to be like, I'm okay with fracking.
That's true.
I'm against fracking. You know, Kamala Harris is for fracking. That's a difference that we have. But I will say, if we're looking at this list, you know, Don Fitz, even though he's a Green Party person, you know, he is the closest thing that I can align to if there was no other choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say Wesley Bell will win, unfortunately, but I'm not voting for him. Marie and I have, this is the first time we've met in person, but we've talked for months now.
Yeah,
because we've both just really dislike Wesley Bell and know how corrupt he is. And I think it's important for us to make sure his vote total is low. I think if it'd be great to have Kamala win by a much or have way more votes in St. Louis than he does to show how much Democrats are.
That should be a campaign.
Yeah.
We must have more votes in the 1st Congressional District for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz than what Wesley Bell has. We should not be sending a sex predator who has been touching people within the last month getting more votes than Kamala Harris in the 1st Congressional District.
Definitely.
And shame on you if you know he's a predator and you're still going to be voting for him.
You're right, 100% correct. Montego, go ahead. Did you want to finish your statement from earlier?
Yeah, basically, I mean, now that I have a better understanding, then I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I think it should just be what it's been.
Oh, so you're for just the two parties. You don't want okay. Cause see, I'm like Maria. I don't want to take away nobody's voice.
Yeah, I don't.
You know?
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if it's causing, then just the two parties.
Here's my only thing is my last thing on this is just green libertarian better. This little fake party that just popped up. What is it?
You can just start a party.
Yeah, that's what Jared Young did. I mean, he literally just started a damn party, and he claimed he was doing it for the people, but it's for him. It's just, to me, this is America. This is America, Jack. You know what I'm saying? So I like that.
We should start the high party.
I'm with it.
I think that would be incorporated in the Green Party.
It should be. It should, and that's another thing. They have that's the thing. Montego and Maria, I love what y'all thinking. There are things that they could do to bolster themselves, but they do not do it. Green Party, why aren't you on environmental stuff more? Why aren't you super for cannabis? Why aren't you using socials? Then just use the free shit that's in front of you.
What you said earlier was totally 100% on. Is that they only show up every 4 years for 6 months, and then 3.5 years you don't hear from them.
Right.
To be like a serious party, they need to be on the ground, canvassing, campaigning, getting to know people, organizing, and building up relationships, so that when the election comes, people actually know them. And
I got a problem with politics because I've never met one that I trusted.
I hear you. Here's one right here.
I've never met her. But I'm saying I've met from New York to Delaware, Philly, Jersey to St. Louis. I've never met.
And it's worse now for anybody like
met
Wesley
one that I
Bell to
trusted.
get elected. Something must be wrong with politics.
Then when I saw on the news here what happened with them black guys that was in office and how they got sent to jail for the money situation.
Boyd,
Jeffrey
Boyd,
Boyd.
I forget the other names.
So it was like
Jeffrey Boyd. I heard him. He was local.
They were aldermen.
Out.
Yeah, he's out now.
So to me, it's like everybody just wants a check, man. You just trying to figure out a way to pad your pocket.
Lewis Reed.
Oh yeah, and
they were, you know what?
Yeah, and they were hating on Miss Tashara when she was running. Yeah,
that's the worst part is when you sell out your values and morals, and that's like a real conversation. Is when there's a when there are politicians who sell out the values of their communities for personal
And that puts a
gain,
black eye on the real
really
African
does.
Americans who want to
Preach,
come
y'all.
in and really do some shit.
That
Thank
is.
you for saying that.
You know what I mean?
100%. Love that you put that in. 'Cause that's, I mean, that's correct. The bad part is people, citizens in this country, they look for any freaking thing they can find to not vote for you, not vote, hate on politics. And when you give them ammunition, they firing this shit off because it's like you're proving their point.
I was right the whole time. I knew he was going to do
Exactly.
that. I knew he wasn't no good.
And it's just sad because that's not 100% how it is, but I mean that's how these people feel, so I get it.
But it's instant gratification.
Yes,
It's
yes.
instant gratification.
And it's also I don't have to do any work. I
Right.
don't have to look up and see if my thought is correct or not. I could just go with my thought and then they proved it. You know what I'm saying? All right, I want to stay in the city real quick because the city ballot, other than governor, president, senator, and we're going to senator. I want to save senator and president for last because that's the juicy one. Other than that, the city don't have too much. What is it? Prop B.
Yeah, we got some important propositions though.
Okay, which one to you? Because I really focus more on the city because the
yeah.
county because the county has so many.
I'd say all the propositions. There's B, which gives city charter, amends the city charter to give the Board of Aldermen more power over the revenue.
Okay.
Then T transforms the Department of Streets, the Department of Transportation, so they're doing more than just streets.
Now, see, to me though, I think when I read that, I literally looked at that as we'll jump to that one because that one to me was nothing but a name change.
Yeah,
They're going to do the same stuff they were already doing. They just want to sound more up to date than Department of Streets. You know what I'm saying?
I'm kind
I
of
don't think they're
confused by
doing
that,
shit
too.
else.
Like, I don't know. Does the Department of Streets not handle sidewalks and street lights, or I mean,
I need to find out who it is because they owe me 2 checks.
I know that's right. And it's
No, for real.
They need
They
and
tore my rims up.
Okay.
Now, I made a complaint online. They're supposed to pay you for that.
yeah.
They really should.
Yeah,
That's where that ARPA money should be
It takes a
going.
minute.
Is to fixing these roads and fixing
Yeah.
people's cars.
This is the richest the city of St. Louis has ever been, but yet we still have the same problems that can be fixed with money. I mean, these streets should not be as jacked up. It's a good thing Tashara's not running. But what is it? Yeah, so that was it. Shall the charter of the city of St. Louis be amended to change the Department of Streets into Department of Transportation with the authority and duty to maintain and repair public streets, sidewalks, alleys, bridges, street lights, and traffic lights to perform waste removal services?
They're already
They
supposed to
already
be
do.
doing.
Yeah, it's nothing but a name change.
That's what I'm not sure. But
Can
I
we
don't get
start
that
with Goodfellow, please?
Preach.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
either.
Preach.
Really jacked up streets.
It
but,
is,
you know,
though.
it's,
Okay, here's another what is this? Proposition 4?
no, Proposition V.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
V.
so
My
this
bad.
one-
Now
this
Roman
one's a-
numeral.
This one's a good one.
Okay.
People who have vacant and deteriorated property
Mm-hmm.
that they're not living in, they need to pay larger fines. And there's like slumlords who basically just owning property and just like letting it go and go to hell, deteriorating, and they get fined $500 for it, but that's nothing for them because they're rich as hell.
Wow.
So, I think it's good to
Yeah.
have a higher.
Can I go socialist on you?
Yes, you
Yes,
can, please.
Please
Okay.
do.
Go ahead.
So one of the problems that and I agree with you in part, one of the problems that we have is generational wealth in the black community. And
Preach.
if you look at some of our historically black communities that do not exist anymore, the later
Cadillac.
generations didn't know about how to upkeep their home.
Right.
They didn't understand you got to start at the roof and then you deal with the water and then you make sure that they didn't know the technical stuff. We still don't know the technical stuff. And so in part, I think that there should be an education program for people who are new to housing, people who are
love
old to
that.
housing,
Right.
people who are tenants, just so they know what is supposed to be okay, what is
Right.
supposed to be
Yeah.
done in a house.
Right.
That's something that I'm learning, and it's taken decades to learn.
Right.
And my mom didn't say, this is what you do. You have to make sure you do this first, that first.
Yep.
You have to look at that, and I'm speaking from the perspective, I just had a $7,000 bill for some raccoons who messed up my guttering.
Oh, you told
So
me about
I
that.
told you about that.
Goodness.
Yes.
Should have called me.
And that's a
You handle raccoons?
I'll speak after she get done.
Oh, I get back.
but there are certain things I wasn't cleaning my gutters,
Right.
and these raccoons that were part of the neighborhood, this family, they decided to come visit the household. But in any case, my socialist version
'Cause you didn't know.
of what you are saying is there should be a training program free for residents who not only own but also rent, so they can keep up their housing for the next generation.
Yes, ma'am.
So I agree. I just want to clarify. This is for people for vacant and non-owner occupied.
Yep.
I know, but how
Okay.
did it get vacant?
Because somebody buys the property and just lets it go to hell.
In a lot of cases, but not all.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
In a lot of cases,
and
most
to
cases.
speak to
I
that,
would even
right?
say.
Because I work currently, I'm a maintenance tech
Yeah.
for a property management company.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not gonna say who,
Right on. You ain't got to.
but not only for vacant properties, but also, properties that are already lived in.
Right.
There should be heftier fines when things are not done in a timely manner. Because I've assisted with several inspections where it's like the guy walked in, he's like, "Oh, I'm reporting all this shit. Like, this is ridiculous."
Right.
And these are things that I've reported to my supervisors over and over and over and
And
over.
they never dealt with it.
But you rather worry, but you make sure somebody here in this damn office every day or every first of the month
Yep. To get that money.
to get this money left under this door.
Yes, sir.
But you still ain't taking care of this chiller on the top of this roof.
Yeah.
These people ain't got no AC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hell yeah.
it's $100,000 to get this chiller fixed.
Yep.
Yeah.
These people been in this building for the last year.
Talk about it.
Hot. These are old people.
Oh my God! Why is it always the older?
And they
people
have
to
no
suffer?
AC. I have put portable and window units in damn near every unit in this building.
Wow.
Oh no, that's
You know what I'm
grim.
saying?
Because they won't fix the central air.
The fungus that is in some of these buildings, the
No.
mold that are in some of these buildings
No.
is ridiculous, bro. I'm gonna show you pictures. I'm gonna show
Please.
you photos of stuff I just took.
Please.
Cause I'm on call this weekend. I
Yeah.
just had a call I had to go to before I
Put it
got
on
here.
IG. Send it to me. Put
I
it
got
on.
you.
I'm gonna put it. And
But-
this is. Go ahead. Finish your point.
But what I'm saying is, they talk the family. This is a family environment. This is a family business. And this company has built a certain area in St. Louis. Literally built that whole area, St. Anne actually.
Wow. St. Anne is so crooked.
So they own a lot of properties throughout St. Louis. Properties through places I've driven through and I didn't even know until I started working for them.
Wow.
15 months ago. Like, damn, they own this over here. And I'm seeing.
And they're from out of town, aren't they? They're not local.
No.
They're local?
here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about the residents.
Nah, man.
Wow.
Well, that means that they know some of these inspectors in St. Anne.
But see, the thing is not even St. Anne. It's St. Anne. It's the city. It's the county. It's De Pere.
It's everywhere.
They have property everywhere, and they're well known. They're well known.
I can't wait till you tell me who
Well
these people
known.
is off there.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait.
That's so
But the thing,
sad.
like, they have. I got the paperwork for a lawsuit that they're going through now. But like, my thing is though, these these companies. It's all about money. We know that.
100%.
It's all about money. But my
Unfortunately.
thing is, they have these people in these situations that are living in these properties, these homes, these apartments, these assisted living units, and they're not doing right by these people at all.
You know why I'm smiling right now? Because in the breath of my father, he would say there should be a tenants' rights
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, man.
initiative.
yeah.
And that should be part of the education system. Really? So these seniors know, again, I don't want to take from what you're saying,
Yeah.
but when I was working for the lieutenant governor's office, there were 4 women who died at a nursing home only a block and a half from my house. And the reason why is because they did not turn on the air conditioning.
Good.
Wow.
They refused to turn it on. The Post-Dispatch did a 7-part series. They had been trying to pass legislation for 7 years
What was this
at
company?
that time.
What was this company?
Oh, I can't remember it now.
Oh,
but
fudge.
but in nursing homes, they usually change the names with every single lawsuit.
That's true.
But had these
To
4
avoid,
women
yep.
not passed away, we would not have been able to pass the Senior Care Protection Act in 2003. But it took 4 women, a block and a half from my house, when I was working for the Lieutenant Governor's office, to get something passed. So there should be a tenants' rights initiative. That is what my father worked for in public housing for a million years. In public housing, that just wouldn't fly, you know. And there are a lot of companies who are trying to do right by people who are you know, challenged economically. But for some of these private investors and private owners, that's why we need to have an education program to let people know what they deserve to have in their household.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure,
I,
sure.
I agree, and I think Maria's coming across as a socialist again.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
She sounded right.
Hell yeah. But I mean, yeah, we have labor unions, and workers get a lot of rights from that.
Right.
And we need the same for tenants. Tenants
Right.
need unions. We need tenants' rights because
They do.
that should.
100%. I think all of you all are definitely correct. And one thing that Maria said that I think is, man, I'll take it because that's real stuff. What you that's legitimately what's happening, and we know what's happening. One thing Maria said that I think needs to happen is an education class. Because here's the thing, you know what a lot, and I was waiting for one of y'all to mention this, and as soon as I say it, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. When your grandparent passes away and you get their home. And that happens all the time.
All
You
the
get the
time.
home and you don't know
Don't
what
know
to do
what
with
to
it.
do with it.
It's all stuff that needs to get done. Some
sell it.
investor comes and offers you all money. Take it, please. I don't know what the fuck to do with
That's
this.
the bill.
Please. And then what happens? Grandma's house is gone.
I was
The black
mad.
neighborhood is gone.
Man.
And here comes motherfucking gentrification. Like that is the problem. Because I'm already, my aunt has already told me. My aunt has a beautiful home in the West End, not too far from Del Mar, like prime location. And I'm talking about, can I tell you when I moved here in '01, y'all, that whole neighborhood was black. I mean, completely black. The only white people you saw were WashU students, and they lived around the corner on, I think on DePere in those buildings by St. Roch Church. Now that neighborhood has been gentrified.
Yeah.
My aunt and my mother are the only black people still there. It is sad and it is
My
disgusting.
mom lives in the neighborhood.
You know what I'm
She's
saying?
of color.
It is. Your mom lives over there?
Yeah.
Good. Thank
She's
God.
of color.
Okay, good. She DePere. Which one she?
She's by St. Roch.
Okay, bet. There you go. Good. I'm so glad she's still over there. It's disgusting what has happened because on the street where my aunt lives, I ain't gonna give y'all the street, but it's right over there, completely white. And I'm talking about to the point where there's a community garden, right? And by the community garden is a trash. My mother goes from her apartment to go take out the trash. And she in the community garden used to be, because my aunt had a plot, but she gave it up because she didn't feel like dealing with it no more. And it's all them. It's all the yuppies and shit. And my mother goes to take the trash out, walks back, sees all of them there, and says to one of the people, "Wow, I guess we're the only ones here left." And she said, "Yup." That's what the lady said to my mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? So here's the thing, y'all. Black folks, people of color, poor folks, whatever, when you get your parents' home, do not be so quick to sell it. Hold on to it. Find whatever type of loans you can get to get that roof fixed, like Maria said, because you have to start from the top all the way down and do that, y'all, because if you can keep that home in your family, that is wealth.
My aunts did that, and I was so pissed.
Yeah.
To the point I wanted to fight them.
And that's how we.
My
that's how we
my
are
grandmother
losing.
passed, and this is a house that I grew up in, and this was when it was called Belder Village, right?
What is it
Grew
called
up,
now?
Cambridge Townhomes.
Wow, what part of town is it?
Belder City, right off Lucas and Hunt.
Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, yeah. The main one's
Where
right
the
there.
where the little police station is.
Yeah.
But the houses, their homes back there.
Okay,
So my
okay.
grandma had that house ever since I was a baby.
Wow.
So when she passed, like, they just sold it. So I ride past there once a month. I do.
Just to
you know,
look.
just to see it. And one day I got, I'm just like, I'm gonna knock on this door and see who's here.
Right.
Because I noticed that the garage is not the garage no more. It's just a door.
Oh,
So I'm like, they done changed my whole house.
right.
You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
still calling it my house.
I feel you because
know
you
what I
grew
mean?
up in that mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go knock on the door. They let me in. I gave them, look, listen, I grew up here. This is my grandmother's house. This house was sold from under me and my dad. We had no clue.
Wow.
Do you mind if I just come through. I'm not gonna do nothing. She was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that whole house was changed, like the whole structure.
Oh, they
done
redid
put
everything.
walls up, knock this down, put this up. Like,
Yeah.
man, I was hurt. My heart was hurt.
Was
bro.
is it black folks that rent it or own it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do they own or rent?
They're renting.
Of course they are.
Yep, they're renting. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's just that's the type of stuff, y'all. I just it's just we need that education class, Miss Maria, because that needs to happen ASAP. I just man, because that's how we're losing our neighborhoods. That is how we're losing our neighborhoods. Any other? Go ahead.
Prop S kind of goes along with this one too, because this is about imposing a 3% fee on short-term rentals, which is basically like Airbnb.
Airbnbs, yeah.
And that's another thing that's happening in neighborhoods is that people are buying houses and then
flipping them
just,
to Airbnb.
yeah,
Airbnbs.
turning them and renting them, and so it's not a neighborhood anymore. It's just somebody coming and renting for a month or whatever, and or a weekend, and
Not
that
even
guy's
that,
making money.
just coming in and fucking up my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it right. That part.
That's
that
what
part.
you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just
tearing up the neighborhood
Because you
Exactly.
rent you renting this out for some money to some people who really don't give a shit about this community, don't give a
Exactly.
shit about this neighborhood.
Exactly.
Then you come in here throwing these parties, y'all getting drunk, now somebody done got shot in here.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too it's too much, bro. You know what I mean? Just because you want to make a quick buck, you want to keep the flip going.
Yeah,
Go ahead, E.
and the other thing is that when somebody hotels have to pay taxes, so the city's getting money from people renting hotels. They're not getting any money right now from Airbnbs. So like the city's getting screwed that way.
People wonder why in different Florissant was like this when we first moved to Florissant. Florissant was very strict on who can even live in their municipality, and you had to. We rented our home. The first home we rented, and luckily we were blessed we were able to buy. But the guy that we rented from, he owned it, but we had to go to the city of Florissant, put our names down. We're the occupants, and they take a beat to figure out if we want you in our community or not. And now it's not as strict as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's not as strict as it used to be from maybe different things, community bitching, or you're getting paid to just let my name be on there. I don't know what.
$75. Go in there, pay $75, get an occupancy permit. You cool.
That's it.
That's all we want.
When it used to be something behind it, but to me, I think they should. Certain places need to go back to that because you can't. You have to have some type of standards in living in this world. You can't just be, at the bottom level in everything you do and then expect everybody to cater to you. That's just like saying that's like Dump with his policies. The sky's not blue, it's red. Remember, it's red. Like it's red because I said it's red. Like get the fuck out of here. Like no, man, you're not gonna take the truth and spin it to your will and make it work. No, that's not how that goes.
People always try to
Housing
piss
is
on
a
you and tell you
human
it's
right.
raining.
It is. It is. Everyone deserves it. All right.
And the other part of that, this 3% fee would go to affordable housing, which is also awesome.
Okay.
Because I think that is what we need.
Good.
Is that it for St. Louis City?
Yeah, that's it for
I
St. Louis City.
had
No,
a
there's one more big
question.
one. There's one more big one.
Oh.
And this one is important to me. Go ahead, Maria.
I had a question about how the state constitutional amendment number 7 would impact St. Louis City. Because when I was looking at that, it said it would require the plurality winner of a political party primary to be the single candidate at a general election.
Yeah.
So you guys have something different. I can't explain it. So, but does that impact y'all?
I was wondering the same thing when I read that because St. Louis City has approval voting, where we just vote for all, and the primary is we vote for all the candidates that we approve of, and the top 2 go on and face each other.
Okay.
And it's nonpartisan, so there could be 5 people running. You could vote for a Democrat, you could vote for a Republican, and they could face each other, or you could vote for 2 Democrats and they face each other.
So how would this change that?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know that.
I'll read it for y'all so y'all know. Constitutional Amendment number 7, shall the Missouri Constitution be amended to make the Constitution consistent with the state law by allowing citizens of the United States to vote, prohibit the ranking of candidates by limiting voters to a single vote per candidate or issue, and require the plurality winner of a political party primary to be the single candidate at a general election. State and local governmental entities estimate no costs or savings. Isn't that what we already do?
Well, here's another question that I had as a former school board member. When you look at the bullet point, shall only vote the second the second bullet point, like in university cities, sometimes we have 2 seats open, sometimes we have 3 seats open
Right.
for the school board.
Right.
And my question to that is, does that mean that a voter can only vote for one person or one seat?
Right.
Does that limit that? So there's more questions in this number 7, this constitutional amendment number 7, that
Well,
that needs to be answered.
I'll ask y'all, because to me, I'm under the impression that you can only vote for one. You can't. I mean, if it's a school board, it's different. But for, like, just take for instance, for state Secretary of State, vote for one. U.S. Rep District 1, vote for one. It literally says. So how's that any different?
Well, yeah, that's why I don't know if it's going to override what St. Louis City has now with approval voting.
Right. See, and this is the thing that's dirty, and this is why I wanted to do this show, because they'll write it in a way where you do not understand what the fuck you are voting on. Yeah. And that's the thing that's the thing I can't stand. Now this right here, last 2 big ones in the city, and this is we don't have to talk about them in the county because it's the same ones. Do you want Prop A is, do you want to amend Missouri law to increase minimum wage January 1st to $13.75 per hour, increasing $1.25 per hour each year until 2026, when the minimum wage would be at, I can't believe it, $15 per hour. Adjust minimum wage based on changes in the consumer price index each January beginning in 2027.
So this is a state proposition, and Missouri is one of those weird states where we pass, anything goes marijuana. We pass, we may be passing Amendment 3. It took a while, but this is a Republican state.
Yeah.
And then obviously the minimum wage was among the earlier votes that we have, and it's incremental. Like, in practice, I always want to increase the minimum wage.
Exactly.
I think it should be $25 instead of $15. People can't live on $15 an hour.
Eggs is $6 a carton.
If this is all we got, I'm voting for
Increase
it.
that
If it's
goddamn money.
limiting anything, I don't want to support it. But I frankly and fundamentally believe that the minimum wage should be like $25 an hour. And some folks may not like that, but you can't live off of even $13, $15. You can't live. I mean,
there was a push for a $15 minimum wage like 10, 15 years ago, and inflation and everything has made that $15 now that we're finally getting close to it. Like now we need 25.
Right.
The $15 is passed.
Exactly.
Passed, so.
But here, and Montego, what's your thoughts on that? Because I think you agree.
Like I just said, eggs is $6.25 a fucking carton.
Yeah.
Increase that money, man.
It's horrible.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
To me, it's simple too. But this is the pushback you'll get from corporations and capitalism. Well, if it's $25 an hour, then the price of strawberries are going to go up exponentially, or the price of gas will shoot up again, or the price of a mattress will shoot. I'm not going to pay the $25 an hour. So
if they
I'm
don't
gonna
get
put
this
the cost.
situation right at the docks, shit grades shoot up anyway.
I hear you, but that's got handled. I think the union.
They just put it on hold. They came to a small agreement until January. They have until January.
Oh, they have a tentative? They didn't.
Yes.
I thought they settled it.
No.
Dummies.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's just I'm for it, right? Yeah. But this is the corporations are going to say, I'm not paying it. I'm putting the cost back onto us, and then everything is going to shoot up in price. What say y'all?
Well, the CEOs are making all the money. I mean, the CEO salary is just skyrocketing across like all companies. So they're making their money.
Right.
And they're just not passing it down to the workers.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's what's going to have to change is like they, instead of just raising the prices, keep paying them $100 billion a year, whatever, they're going to have to take a cut themselves.
But that's the thing. The average person, and this is the shit that's crazy, y'all. I deal with this in my own household. I'll keep it a buck. Wifey, you know this is the truth. She doesn't want McDonald's workers to make $15 an hour. The majority of, if you look at a lot of Americans, they act like they're not for capitalism, but they're for capitalism. They're okay with CEOs making 15, 20 million a year, while the person who makes them the money is under minimum fucking wage. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that thought process, and there's a lot of people that are for that. We could put it on the bill, and I hope we could put it on the ballot. I pray this passes, but ain't no telling.
Yeah, here's the thing. You have to look at it in its totality. So, yeah, it's nice to have a higher minimum wage, but how much is childcare? How much is transportation? One of the biggest issues that we have right now are workers who are in North County, North City, having to go to South County, South City, or West County to get to work.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, how long does
Super
that
far.
take?
Yep.
How expensive is that? How much time are you losing with your children?
So expensive.
So when we talk about minimum wage, we're also talking about health care.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, for those of us who are on Obamacare, you know, we have to figure out, you know, is it going to be, how much longer do we have to work today? Is it going to be 4 hours more we work today to
Right.
pay for our own Obamacare? Is it going to be 5 more hours to pay for our child care? So, I mean, we're talking about, when we just look at this, you know, for face value, you know, it does sound good to have an increase. We need an increase. The increase should be much larger than $15. But we're also not taking account for how much housing costs, how much transportation costs, how much food costs,
Right.
inflation on food, gas prices. We don't know if that's going to change today or tomorrow.
Right.
So you have to look at the compounding effect of how much people are earning. So it does matter, because that worker at McDonald's who may be working $15 an hour, they're also having to pay for grandma. They are also
Preach.
maybe
Yes,
responsible
ma'am.
for that gutter.
Yes, ma'am.
They may be responsible
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that gutter, and $15 an hour is not going to cut it.
Yes, at all. Montego, you got something?
No, I'm good.
I totally agree. I think that it's a simple fix, but people, I don't understand. Sometimes people, we're our own worst enemy, and we will hate on each other, and we will go to the money. I don't understand it. It's almost like that in professional sports. People are mad at such and such athlete for making the money he makes, but they don't give a shit about Jerry Jones, who has a team that's worth $10 billion, and treats his players like what, animals, treats his players like property, and do not give a shit about that. But mad because CeeDee Lamb is making $50 million. I don't understand that. I don't understand that mindset of people. And since I brought it up, that's a segue, y'all. I'm a professional. Sports gambling.
All right.
I'm against all of it.
You against all of it? Bet. Let's talk about it.
You start.
All right, bet. Here we go.
Show.
All right, sports gambling. We got 2 on the books. This is the main one. Amendment number 2. Do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to allow the Missouri Gaming Commission to regulate licensed sports wagering, including online sports betting, gambling, boats, professional sports betting, districts, and mobile licenses to sports betting operators? Restrict sports betting to individuals physically located in the state and over the age of 21. Allow license fees prescribed by the commission, and a 10% wagering tax on revenues received to be appropriated for education after expenses occurred by the commission, and required funding of the Compulsive Gambling Prevention Fund, and allow for the General Assembly to enact laws consistent with this amendment. State governmental entities estimate one-time cost of $660,000, ongoing annual cost of at least, how can you have annual costs of $5.2 million?
Operation.
Just to keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay, an initial license fee revenue of $11.75 million, because the proposal allows for deductions against sports gaming revenues. They estimate unknown tax revenue ranging from 0 to $28.9 million annual. Local governments estimate unknown revenue. Sports gambling in Missouri, it means you don't have to go to Illinois anymore to place a fucking bet. What say, Montego, I want you to start.
I'm with it.
You with it?
I'm all for it. Especially, I mean, if it's really going to be used, especially for the educational purposes, the paying the teachers more.
Right.
I'm for that.
Okay.
I'm all for that. I
All right.
support it 100%.
That's what's up. I'm going to go to you last. Emmett.
Yeah, I'm for it because I love sports, and it makes more fun to bet on sports.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really does.
I do, And I also feel like the cat's already out of the bag. Like, sports betting is here. You know, we already can go to Illinois and make the bets. So, like, if Illinois is already getting that revenue, and for Kansas City, if in Kansas it's already there. So, like,
It is. It's in the neighboring states.
yeah,
isn't it?
it's in the neighboring states already. So,
Yeah.
like, this is what happened with the marijuana bill.
Yep.
It took us a couple of years to catch up to Illinois.
Yep.
Then Illinois is getting all that
Right.
money.
They
So-
getting all that marijuana money? What? Let's
yeah,
go.
so like if other states are already doing it, this is, you know, you can't like put it back where we're just going to pretend it doesn't exist. So
Right.
Missouri should capitalize on it, and I think it should take advantage. I also think it'll help open up some businesses in Missouri. I do. I did read something about Kansas though, where they had a bill like this that did not raise nearly enough money for the it was, I don't know if there was education or something else, but they expected it to raise way more money for it than
And
it
it
did.
didn't.
So I do kind of question if it will raise as much money as it's supposed to, but that's, you know, I still want it.
Kansas needs to legalize marijuana. They'll make some money then.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Maria, hit it.
Well, this is a Steve Tilley bill.
It's a what?
So this is a Steve Tilley bill. This is the
Who's
best
that?
friend of the current governor,
Oh.
Mike Parson,
Oh, God.
who is behind all of this gambling stuff. He's the one who was behind the negotiation for the marijuana distributors and all that. I was
he was
still
for
in the
that?
legislature
Okay.
back then. And
Mo Canna?
who gets who gets certified, I'm not saying the right word, who gets their place and who doesn't get their place, and it ended up being friends who got their place, and then there was a big old lawsuit.
Wow.
That was
Hope he
Steve
burns
Tilley.
in hell.
This is another
Preach.
Steve Tilley. Here's the other thing. As a former school board member,
Go ahead.
every single school district is funded differently. So if you are a Ladue school
I
district,
love how you go to the school board and not the senator, but she
because,
goes back to that. Go
because
ahead.
my favorite, among my favorite public service deals was the school board.
Nice.
I loved it.
I get it.
It was my favorite job of being elected. It was unpaid, and it was my life.
There you go.
But I also understand how funding works for
There you
the
go.
school
That
districts,
part.
and every single school district is different.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis City obviously depends on the state more than the local incoming funds. I would also say that, you know, a Normandy school district or Riverview school district depends on the state, but you have to look at the language specifically.
There you go.
And two things that stand out is and it's in a couple of these state propositions.
Mm-hmm.
The last sentence, local governments estimate unknown revenue. That comes from a fiscal note. In every piece of legislation at the state, you have a fiscal note. Any time where people purport to say that this is going to help education, and then the fiscal note says local governments estimates are unknown, that means that they weren't saying anything, because some school districts would want to take something.
Right.
It may not be $5 million.
Right.
It may not be $200,000. It may be, and in some cases, $150,000, and it may not go to teachers.
Right.
Because you have different streams of income for education. And so, like, when you have tax increases locally, that doesn't go to teachers. That goes to buildings. People don't know that. So,
Yep.
like, every stream
Yep.
of money is designated for something.
Yep.
I wish that if we had an increase of taxes, that went directly to teachers as a former school board member,
Right.
but that's not how it works. It goes to building and infrastructure.
Right.
The other sentence that is in here that concerns me,
Because the proposal allows for deductions
yes,
against sports
yes,
gaming revenues.
you got it. You got it.
I figured it was that
Because
one.
the proposal allows for deductions against sports gaming revenues, the estimate is unknown.
Yep.
So
They can hide the
deductions
money.
for-
They can hide the money, do
deductions
whatever
for
they
That's it
who?
right there.
Yeah.
That's it
So
right
here's
there.
the question: deductions for
That's it right
who?
there.
And
Yep.
this is my
This is a great
primary point.
conversation.
So everything I just told you up until this point is just like business wise. The other part of it is that I fundamentally believe that in some cases gambling splits families apart, because there are people
point.
who have addiction.
Good point.
And as a person who
Very
has
good
a
point.
family member who has been addicted to gambling,
Preach.
that is why I've always been against it. I
That's
with
great
them
right
to
there.
support them. I went to Gam-Anon with them, and they had an addiction
What's
like people
Gam-Anon?
have. Gam-Anon is like
Gamblers Anonymous.
yeah,
Okay.
Did you ever
Gamblers
bet them
Anonymous.
that they couldn't quit gambling?
That's not even funny.
No, I'm serious.
Because let me tell you,
I'm serious.
let me tell you, when I say families can break apart because of gambling,
God, yes.
I'm talking about giving up their homes. You know, the
I've
homes we
seen
were
it.
talking about, the cars that we're
I've seen
talking
it.
about. People can get loans on cars. just to
Spending
go
mortgages
gambling.
at the boat.
So, and it's breaking, to me, it has the potential to break families apart. And we're, as people of color, we're already struggling. I mean, we've already had this conversation about transportation, childcare, housing, food, infrastructure. I mean, all of that. So that is why I'm against it, and I think I've given enough reasons. Now, if you're, it's not my judgment to say if you want to go and do this, you go ahead and do this. I just know that there's going to be a cost. There are going to be multiple costs. How much is Steve Tilley getting from this?
Yeah.
Is that the second to the last sentence? You know, because they're deductions.
Tilley get-
You know, how many people are going to profit off of this
Right.
who are not just in it for the sport?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, are we
Right.
making more billionaires because of this legislation?
Exactly.
And that's why I'm against Amendment 2.
Okay. Me personally, great explanation. I love everybody's explanation for this, all of y'all's. I am, believe it or not, I am on the effing fence. I'm not sure because, and here's the thing. One side of me is I love going to. I hate making the drive because I don't have DraftKings, I don't have FanDuel, I don't have any of the apps. So like when I want to place a bet, I don't have to because how the apps work is for those that don't know.
You got to be in Illinois.
You just have to physically be in the state. You don't have to be anywhere. Just long as your IP address hits. What is it that you're in the state of Illinois? You can be literally right over the bridge, and it will work. You can place your bet. I don't do that. I physically go to a place. I go to Argosy. I go to DraftKings. I go to Casino Queen to place my bets. And to be honest with you, I hate it. I gotta go out of my way to go do that.
Don't worry about it, I got you. I can show you how to create an IP address.
Please help me, bro. Like I'm sick of doing that. And then I got to rush from Argosy, from damn Alton, Illinois, all the way to my job, which is mad far in Missouri. So I'm sick of doing that. And like Emmett said, it makes sports watching a million times better, especially when you win or lose. When you lose, you're pissed. When you win, you're ecstatic. But the moment, when it's going on, when you're in the midst of it, oh my God, the highs and lows are ridiculous. Almost, it's like a rush. It's a drug. It's the endorphins that are going off in our brains. So you know what I'm saying? That's what that is. But to me, man, I'm not gonna front. I'm like Miss Maria. I'm worried about addiction because I don't want to. I don't want to be. Damn. See, this is hard, and this is where people will differentiate on this. Sometimes we have to hold people's hands down so they can't do what they want to do, and because if you don't, they'll. I'm a grown person and I should have the right to do. You know what? You're right, but guess what? Just because you can don't mean you should, because we know countless stories of people that had to get their names signed off of that damn presidential casino down off that boat. They had to get themselves signed off of Casino Queen. They had to get themselves signed off of Lumiere before they changed the name of that. I don't even know what the name of the casino is now, downtown St. Louis, because these people were going down there and spending their mortgages, their light bills, their water bills, their gas bills on on gaming. You know what I mean? On trying to play blackjack, trying to play poker, trying to play baccarat, and you suck. And you're costing your family and yourself money, and you're costing your livelihood. So it's just like I am when I see this on the thing, November 5th, and I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking about voting early too, because I just want to the day of. I want to just take pictures of the whole thing. I don't want to be in lines for hours. Yeah. But what is it? I am not sure, because and to Miss Nadal's point earlier, bruh, Montega, I'm for it too, where this money is going to go towards education, but they said that same shit with Missouri Lottery, and that we don't know where that money goes. That money does not go to education. Yeah. I mean, we know it doesn't. So it's just that's the thing. I'm just now marijuana. I was for, but the way they worded it, because they worded it kind of fucked up. Some people with cannabis marijuana convictions may get out. When you word it like that, I was a no on that. So with this, I'm not going to front. I'm not even sure. Because I wanna be able to sit at home and place a bet, but I may need some shackles because a lot of us, we believe it or not, we got addictive personalities. You know what I'm saying? But either you think you do or you don't. But that's one thing I look at.
We all do.
So that's all right. Before we get out of here, because I'm so glad I started early, y'all, because I knew it was gonna go over. 60 minutes was not enough, and we got 10 minutes left. So I want to bang out a couple of these. I'm gonna go to the cannabis ones, because it's high off the glass. I want to talk about those. The county, for those of you that live in the county, bring your glasses and make sure you got time to read, because you got 16 pages of a ballot. It is a lot to go over. Okay. Now this one, this isn't marijuana, but I wanted to hit this real quick. City of Bell Ridge, Proposition L. Shall the City of Bell Ridge be authorized to amend its merchant occupation, you know what I'm saying, and business license fee structure? I read so well today. What the fuck? What is it? Business license fee structure to increase all existing flat rate fees up to 25% of current license fee amount. So I think that's going to raise fees of business owners in Bell Ridge. I don't agree with that.
Is Wesley Bell's former chief of staff still working for Bell Ridge?
Probably so.
I think so.
Probably so. I'm not exactly sure. If anybody wants to fact check that.
I think he is, because that's one of the things. Sam Alton.
Wow.
Every time I think about Sam Alton, and I spent 2 years researching him in the municipalities.
Right.
So I always think about how much is going to go into his pocket. Mm-hmm. And since I'm on that, does Pagedale have one? Because they really need to be investigated by the feds.
Pagedale or Page? Oh, wow.
Sam Alton.
Ooh.
Sam Alton and Pagedale.
Talk about it. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. All right. Let me jump into the can of worms. Anybody have any other thoughts on the Bell Ridge raising fees? Okay. All right, I'm going to jump into the can of Proposition M. For the city of DePere. I'm surprised they're a little late to the party, but shall the city of DePere ban all non-medical micro businesses? Now, this is a new thing, too, with this cannabis is the micro business. Micro businesses, dispensary facilities, and comprehensive marijuana dispensary facilities from being located within DePere and forego any additional related local tax revenue. Sounds like DePere don't want a dispensary in their midst.
That's amazing, because there are a lot of people smoking out there.
That's what I'm saying. It's cool. Shit is always cool.
Yeah.
When it's not over there, the fuck where y'all at?
Yeah.
It's always cool for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not knowing that y'all are some of the biggest consumers and some of the biggest fucking addicts. Come on, man.
City or else.
Long as we don't see that shit over here, y'all. We don't want the, like.
Know when you're already messing.
It's not messy. Like, I don't know if they think it's going to bring some type of bad light on their neighborhood or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But it's no different than you snorting coke in your bedroom with the door closed.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's way better for your
body. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Yeah.
They have a lot in Manchester out there. They got a lot of dispensaries out there. So I'm interested
in DePere?
Well, I don't know what the lines are, but I know in Manchester and out there, aren't they close to each other?
They are, because Manchester, that's West County Mall's right here, and then on the other side is DePere, on the other side of 270. And I'll be honest with you. Now, granted, I don't go out to that neighborhood as much as I used to, but I have not seen nothing cannabis related out there. But again, it may be. I don't know. Mr. McKenna, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like DePere is, being DePere again. They want to look all, clean and have their nice houses and everything.
They tired of spending their gas and driving all the way out here to come. You know what I mean? Let them stay out there.
So
you know what I mean?
They must be coming to University City, because I see more people who don't look like me going up in the old spot. I forgot what they call it. The Spud Bar.
Yes, Star.
You're
talking about the one right there on.
It's popular. I don't know what you call it now.
Starbuds, isn't it?
No, they just changed.
Oh, they changed it. Oh,
but there are a lot more people who don't look like me going up in there, and that may just be U City, because we're liberal.
It's everywhere.
But DePere people may be coming to U City. That's okay. Spend your money.
Right, come spend it.
Yeah, I mean, they're passing up the revenue from it though.
They are, and if you want
to make gas money, let them stay out there closer to their homes. Let them shop out there. They don't want to keep coming all the way out here.
That's what it is. I'm just shocked though, because you look at I work in is it? I think it is St. Charles. I work in St. Charles County, y'all, and I'm talking about soon as you pass that, soon as you get over the bridge in St. Charles on 70, man, it's it's not a plethora, but you see a gang of billboards for dispensaries, and I mean they're in St. Charles, they're in O'Fallon, they're in Wentzville, they're in Lake St. Louis, they're Wright City. You know what I'm saying? Like they are the what is it? What's the one that's right? Forestell. They are out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm surprised the pair don't want that money, but that's on you. All right. City of Green. Where the hell is Green Park? Anybody know what that is?
Green Park?
Yeah, City of Green Park.
Never heard of it.
I never heard of it. What the fudge is that? City of Green Park, simple majority required, Proposition M. Shall the City of Green Park, Missouri, that must be some rural stuff, impose an additional sales tax at a rate of 3% on all sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city.
They're just trying to get that revenue.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that municipalities around here have been doing. They're just late to the game on that one.
That's all it is. And I'm not mad at if y'all want to do that, go ahead and do it.
Before we round up, can I just say vote yes on Constitutional Amendment number 3?
Absolutely.
That's county? Or is that county or city?
That's statewide.
That's statewide? Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the big one.
Okay, now that's the one. Is that reproductive rights?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, well, hell. Okay, let me do this real quick. I just say this, and we'll jump right into that because we got a few minutes left. Prop A: shall the city of Olivet ban all non-related, non-medical micro businesses, dispensaries, facilities, and comprehensive marijuana dispensary facilities from being located within the city of Olivet and forego any additional local tax revenue? I guess they're not for it.
That's so strange.
That
because
is.
the people who live there are for it.
And it's right next to U City. You see U City getting the money. It's kind of weird.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me about De Pere, but it surprises me about Olivet.
Yeah, it does. And Olivet needs some revenue.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about one of the most important bills on this election, because to me personally, I'm not here for white men or any man in a political capacity telling women what they can do with their bodies. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. I love you, Grammy. I miss her. There's no way in fuck that some man should be able to tell a woman. Like Pac said this shit in 1990. What? There's no man can tell a woman when and where to create one. You know what I mean? Pac said this shit. Rest in peace, Mr. Shakur. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
That doesn't even make logical sense.
It don't.
And it's so much more than that, because what we have been listening to in the last couple of weeks are the number of women in multiple states who have died because they have not gotten life-saving procedures. And so the doctors in these states like Georgia refused to help these women out. And I mean, in the state of Missouri, even Republicans are like confused as to why are you not allowing an abortion for someone who was raped?
That man has a Klan barbaric mind state.
Right. Yeah. It does.
Period.
You said like having taken weight. Yes. It
does. He has a Klan mindset, a barbaric mindset, to say that you should stay with an abuser, that you should keep this kid that you were raped by, that was a product of your rape, as a constant reminder for the rest of your fucking life that you were taken advantage of and raped. And like, come on, man. Come on, man. It don't take. It's simple.
It really don't.
Vote
It's
yes.
simple.
Vote yes on prop. Say the prop here.
It's Constitutional Amendment number 3.
Vote on that, y'all. I mean,
Yes.
do you feel like women should have the right to their own bodies? Yes,
And families do.
Yes.
Of course.
Because even if you are, I believe, even if you are a male and you are trying to save your spouse,
Right.
Of course.
then you should be able to have a part in that.
Right.
Absolutely,
100%.
of
This okay, so this episode was so good today. The hour and a half wasn't enough. And I hope that before November 5th, I can get y'all back on here. Are y'all down to do that? Can we do that again? Can we do this
You
again?
know where I'm at every Sunday at 7 o'clock.
You damn right.
I'm right back here.
Right on.
So
Shout out to show, and shout out where people can find you, Montega.
All musical platforms, Montega Rebel, MontegaRebel. I'm sorry. Every Sunday at 7 o'clock, the motherfucking show right here at My City, My Music.
There it is.
And soon to be signing with Dave East. So y'all holler at me.
Nice. That's huge. All right. Miss Maria Chappelle Nadal, my favorite politician outside of Shirley
It's
Chisholm.
simple. I think I still am at Maria for Missouri on Twitter, X, and my Maria Chappelle Nadal on Facebook.
There you go. And you're on IG, too.
I don't use it because I don't know how to use it.
You need. It's easy. I'll show you. It's easy. She's on IG as well. Look up her name. Mr. McKenna, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's at EMAC in STL. And I have Instagram, but I don't use it. But yeah, follow me on Twitter, EMAC in STL.
Yo, y'all know who it is, man. It's OThaGreat. This was thank you, y'all, for taking time out of your Sundays. And man, I know you wanted to watch football. Yo, we will be back, and we got to do this again. Thank you for paying attention, y'all, and make sure y'all vote November 5th. And next time we talk, we're going to talk about that shitty dude running for GOP for the presidential election. Love y'all. Deuces. Keep smoking, keep hooping. We out. That's my fault.
It was great to meet you.
That was great.
Yeah, that was fun.
I've been wanting to do that for so long.
That was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Man, that was
Thank
a
you,
great
y'all.
surprise.
It
Even
was.
though you didn't tell me it was a good surprise.
I know. I figured you would like that.
Yeah.
It is
What's understood don't even have to be explained, my nigga. Yeah.
You gonna make DraftKings?
Maybe next week.
just watching
Maybe next week.
Houston beat the shit out of Buffalo.